12. Oh, okay. 12.
So we have to start the lecture. This might be the third lecture by Professor Kenji Michino, and his lecture is far beyond the typical Japanese professor's lectures, and lots of the issues and topics are covered, and his own experience and his own invention might be included. And also he has a strong and close tie with the United States government and the Navy and other institutes. So we can get some kind of the profile and according to his lecture. And today's room is here, and unfortunately it is a little bit smaller than the previous classroom. The reason is a lot of the social activities are going on today, and one of them is the JVCC.
Yeah.
What is JVCC?
It's Japanese and
MBA schools competition.
Yeah, I understand. What is the abbreviation of JVCC? Case competition or that kind of thing?
Japanese
No.
business school.
Business competition, how to analyze the case study of the business, and a lot of the participants are hanging around here. So it might be a little bit overcrowded, this floor and second floor. And so that is an unfortunate thing. But unfortunate thing is the best, brightest participants are here and not there. So, so that might be the good point. And please take advantage of this opportunity to study hard. And this is the central place to originate a good idea and in the future. So that is my message. And Professor Uchino, please.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. We will continue at this part. The title is Ethics in Engineering. This is part of the chapter 8. So you can find, chapter 7. So you can find in my textbook. Actually, this engineering ethics is relatively new. So the United States started to put the mandatory additional the lectures for the graduate schools, particularly engineering. The engineer should learn also ethics relating to the. So the Penn State usually all the master and the PhD student needs to pass this engineering ethics course. That is 2 credits. 1 credit, I'm official presenter. So the title and the content are exactly the same as the Penn State. So you may enjoy how the Penn State engineering ethics course is taught. But I usually teach 3 days for this particular topics. So this is just the shortest version. So I need to really ask quickly and answer only 1 comment. Usually I will take 10 minutes, 15 minutes for each sessions, and the discussion is really essential. And another, the 1 credit is provided by another, typically university staff, not the professors, but about plagiarism. I will mention slightly, but the plagiarism, you may know, you may cite to write the papers from the other guys, but how many lines are really cited, that is really important. So the Penn State, they typically, any kind of proposals, we will have some software to check the overlapping with the previous, the report. So if the student will take a kind of plagiarism, overlapping more than 60%, this student are automatically rejected and expelled from the university, okay? So basically, much less than 50% are really preferred. So for this purpose, English writing style must be really brushed up and so on. I'm not interested in to teach this plagiarism at this moment, but I will mention another part of the all ethics, okay? So background already mentioned. So the first one is biological, this ethics. Ultrasound diagnosis, I already mentioned this part. So by using a piezoelectric and generating underwater waves, and reflection create the sum of the image. So we can detect this kind of infant shape or this type. Therefore, actually I worked on this, the medical acoustics in 1980s to 90s, so more than 20 some years ago. So this device has been already completely developed. After that, in 2000 period, we have got a serious problem. For me, ethical problem. So baby birth or abortion is decided after observing this, okay? And the female or male, particularly this was popular in Korea. So Korea's male birth is 60% at that time. So female are almost all aborted. Really. So this is a little ridiculous situation, but this is based on the Korean culture, okay? Genetic disease. This is still popular in Japan. If you found some Down syndrome or others for your baby, or if your baby doesn't have any, like a hand, how would you like to?
You asked me yesterday.
Yeah.
I said I will abort. Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm not pregnant, so I will not know the real answer.
Okay. So she's not the Japanese, but the Japanese usually lady considered similar. Okay. Therefore, if genetic disease was found, you may have an abortion, but you do not feel any sin. But you may know in the United States, even the Sarah Palin, you may know this lady, the previous vice president, she didn't do that, so she has a really handicap, the baby, okay? So it's not, permitted for her religion, Christianity, particularly fundamental Christian, doesn't, allow any abortions. Catholic also doesn't allow the abortion. Of course, I was a Catholic university professor in Sophia University. So a Japanese Catholic is only the exception who allows the abortion, okay? So basically discussion, will you accept abortion according to the image result? Pro-choice, pro-life, and how would you advise the developers of the medical acoustic imaging systems? Any comment? Just one person, probably. Do you have any comments?
If your wife pregnant with this kind of
Japanese student doesn't really try to express your own, the feelings. That is not good. Basically, the international societies, debate is most important, okay? No opinion is not good, okay? Any kind of opinion should be presented. How about you?
So along something like that, genetic disease.
Yes. Agree or not agree, doesn't matter. Anyhow, any comment, or you are not thinking anything about abortion? That's your wife's problem only? No responsibility about the guys?
But actually, the responsibility also depends on his or her mother, I think. So
Mother,
mother meaning is the wife.
wife, okay.
So
Responsibility is your wife, not your responsibility.
You make it. You made it.
actually, I think the only what
So you don't make any comment about your wife. I see, that's the... How about you? You have kids?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have got this problem, how would you recommend your wife?
No change. Born. Fine, but no, only no no change doing.
How about you?
Sorry.
You usually use anything for anything.
It's difficult, but
Yes, difficult for all of us. Even in the United States, there are big discussions, okay? Pro-life, pro-choice. Some of the, the medical doctor who made an abortion surgery was shot by the against. So this is like a murder situation, okay, in the United States. So abortion, against abortion or pro-abortions, that creates a big difference in the president election, actually, okay? This is a big issue in the United States. Why the Japanese are so insensitive to these issues? Yes?
Actually, I had a baby last year.
Okay.
So, for this question, I think if my baby has genetic disease that time, I will accept abortion. Because
I see.
about my future and my
Yes.
child's future.
Yes.
So I'm not so greatness. So I think I should accept it.
Okay. Any other? No abortion accepted? Raise your hand. Yeah.
I'm more towards to the pro-life side, but I will respect the choice of people who will choose for pro-choice side. Because
You are pro-choice?
no, I'm more towards of pro-life.
Okay, pro-life.
Yeah.
Okay. So I usually teach the US student like this. Of course, religion related. Most of the like ancient religion, including Buddhism and Hindu, are both usually believe the reincarnation. Are you familiar with the reincarnation? The umare kawaru, reincarnation. Therefore, usually as a Buddhism, I'm a Buddhist and praying and reading the Buddhism Bible. That clearly mentioned, usually we have the 8 lives. So if I lose the one life, second life maybe I'm a spider or we don't know. Anyhow, the 8 lives. If we believe this, closely related with issues, reincarnation gives a life choice. So if the present life is not suitable for me, we may sometimes make a suicide bomb like a Muslim, okay, and live better life in the next life. So we have some life choices. In that case situations, it's rather easy to make abortion. But the Christianity doesn't believe any abortion or reincarnation. Previously, of course, the classic, traditional Christianity believed the reincarnation, but in the Middle Age of the European period, the reincarnation was completely disappeared. Therefore, they believe only one life. In that case, pro-life is usually taken. Even the distorted the kid is observed, they are obliged to make a birth. That's the reason why the American has a lot of distorted kids or dementia, the brain damaged kids or some retarded or others. There are so high percentage because they reject to make abortions, okay? Of course, in Japan, we don't find so many handicapped persons. That's really rare. Therefore, we don't have a good systems to take a train or others. The handicapped person or the wheelchair person cannot really travel, okay? How can we travel to Kyoto, okay, by using a wheelchair? It's really tough. So United States, of course, about more than 10% are handicapped person. In our, the cities, as I told you, the already soldiers lost lots of, the hand or others. We have lots of these persons. Therefore, the system has been completely changed, okay? This is the one example. And usually, yes?
My question is maybe not related to this stories, but I think I wanted to ask you about the employment of the handicap in the United States. Because actually you said
Okay.
people,
It's not directly related, but handicapped person. That also depends on this handicap or this handicap, totally different, okay? So typically we are requested to hire more than 5% of the employees should be the handicapped person, okay? And Walmart, they are usually taking a 10%. So a retarded person, of course, they cannot completely calculate. Therefore, this person cannot be put for the cashier point. It's rather dangerous. However, this retarded person can carry the sand or others. Therefore, delivery department, we have lots of these handicapped persons, okay? And also the other parts handicap. In that case, they usually sit in the cashier's point. And actually, we need to scan because this lady doesn't have both hands, just one hand, okay? And like this, and no, the legs. But still, she has one hand. Therefore, she can put the register or others, cashing and calculating. Brain fine. So depending on the situations, you can arrange any part. So the handicap doesn't have any particular problems for getting the positions. Universities, of course, slightly different. Chemistry department, the eye handicap is serious. They cannot make any experiment, okay? In that case, these the blind person may need to apply for the different, like physics, theory, or others. In that case, they can be applied, okay? So basically, hand or legs handicapped persons, Penn State, we have lots of professors, okay? Did I answer? How about Keio University? How many wheelchair professor do you have?
I know one.
Oh, just one. in this, the all campus.
Yes.
How about blind professor?
No, I don't know. There are very widely publicized example at University of Tokyo. He is blind. He has no hearing capacity, and but still he is developing the medical devices for the handicap. So that is a very well-known example. But I know only that person in other university.
Anyhow, Japan rather rare, okay? Therefore, that person usually comes on the newspaper and so on. As long as the newspaper release is made for this particular person, this is really behind of this. We have plenty of handicapped professors, so there's no way to put some particular this handicap, create some news, the items, okay? Okay. Yes?
For this case, I have one more question about, for example, in this case of, for example, if we abort this child, you guys cannot unable to have a baby anymore. So in this case, how do we choose that? If we about this child,
Just one baby possibility because the lady is so old.
any other diseases or any other things. If we about this diseased child, we cannot have baby anymore.
I don't know. You had better ask a Japanese lady in that case, okay? Anyhow, as long as I know the U.S., the ladies, that also depends on the physical conditions. And also totally different attitude for the United States. It's a similar situation, but the adoption. We can easily adopt the kids. So that is a kind of status symbol. Next door ladies grew up 3 kids already. The next door is just a slightly lower age of mine. After grew up their own biological kids, he adopted 2 Asian kids. Okay, so adoption is rather famous. My former professors, he has a biological 4 kids, and after that, 3 kids were adopted. But adoption in the United States is rather interesting. White guy usually adopt the Korean or genetically completely separate. Or my professor adopt the 3 black, the kids. Again, genetically impossible. Okay. In that case, this is clearly, the distinguished. This is adopted kids, okay? That means status symbol. We can reduce the tax and so on. So actually, I have already 4 kids. I don't need more kids anymore, okay? So my wife tried to adopt cats. That's a different story, okay? Okay, there are no unique one solution in ethical moral problems. So I'm not suggesting this is true or not. I'm just showing the Asian culture and the European culture, okay? And another one, the micro robot, I already mentioned piezoelectric actuator is beautifully, they used. And the biological applications, this is the artificial fertilization or insemination. So this is moving beautifully and creating a mass production of this artificial insemination, okay? So conventional, I will skip. So ethics problem, case 2, biological case, issues. I met the enthusiastic middle-aged University of Tokyo professor, actually. He was working on the piezoelectric actuator system for artificial insemination and proudly declared their system could impregnate cows precisely and quickly at the rate of some 200 per hour, mass production of life, okay? So cows are continuously creating, okay? So the discussion item, will you accept the mass production of cows? And the important technology in Africa, yes, this is my comment. Is there any moral, ethical implications on this sort of life production? How do you think? Mass production of life, okay? If this happened for the humans, okay? But the cows, of course, humans, yes, they are impregnating usually 1 egg or 2 eggs, and sometimes the artificial. Do you understand? Do you know the ladies, artificial insemination in Japan? How many eggs do you usually use? Typically, in the United States, 4 or 5 eggs are taken, so accumulating. and 1 month, 1 egg, so accumulating slightly, and automatically creating this, okay, from the sometimes husband, sometimes hypothetical husband, okay, and creating this. But anyhow, they will choose only 1 egg from them, and they move into the lady's womb. That's the typical way for the human. So usually one, like a kid, or sometimes the separate twin or the triple is occasionally made because of the artificial, some shock for the eggs. But this is basically one. But he is working for the 200, the cow's production per hour. How do you think? Do you have any ethical problem about this?
I didn't have this kind of problem yet.
Okay.
But if this kind of thing
happens, maybe I would like to take care about
This is already happening.
me.
Okay. Me means if you are the engineer of this.
If I was the engineer of this, what would I do?
Yes, a kind of application of your device. You do not feel any ethical problem for mass production of cows. No, that means no.
If I can control the little bus, I do.
Sorry.
If I can.
This is cow, okay?
Yeah.
Cow mass production. Do you accept this idea or you have some conflicts? You have?
May I ask you, is the mass production clone or assisted insemination?
This is already possible, and they are trying to make it.
But the 200 cows,
Yes.
clone or
No. The
assisted
collecting eggs from all the cow usually create 10 or 20 eggs by 1 cow. So collecting all eggs from multiple and continuously making insemination, okay?
thinking about the problem of food, I recognize the mass production of such kind of assisted insemination.
Yes.
But if it's clone, a clone is not in nature. The one generation is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't recognize clone.
You don't like clone, okay?
It's just assisted insemination.
Mm-hmm.
If I consider the problems of the
Yes, clone is very popular for making a watermelon or others. Almost all are cloned, okay? So you are eating all clones daily, particularly in the United States. All clones are allowed. So sometimes genetically creating a huge vegetable, okay, 4 times larger. These are possible, and we are eating regularly, okay? So the clone is rather, the popular in the United States. This, my question is mass production of life, okay? So you accept, okay? Accept, raise your hand. Deny, or some conflicts. Okay, thank you. Roughly half and half. In the United States, in my class, except one, all accepted. Okay? US is such kind of atmosphere.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Can you elaborate on why you're saying it's an important technology for Africa?
Sorry.
Why you added that? Can you elaborate on why you...
This problem?
Yeah, why you added that question. Can you elaborate on why?
Yes, for me, I have conflict to consider the mass production of life. That's why. So how many really agree to my concept? Or actually, ethics is not one unique. So majority or minority, I would like to learn it. So in the United States, my thinking is totally minority. But here, I'm rather relieved because half are almost the same as mine, okay? So Asian culture and European culture, ethics is different, okay?
About the Africa part, are you saying that it could be beneficial for Africa, or are you saying that...
How do you think? If you accept these ideas, of course, Africa, yes, we had better make a mass production.
I don't know why you added the part about is it an important technology for Africa? Like, what's the intent behind asking that? I just wanted to know.
I don't agree this, but in my feeling, in Africa, this is again the famine areas, so that life or death, that's more than the ethics. Therefore, I accept only for the Africas, like manufacturing of food. Yes.
So that was the intent behind asking that. Okay.
Yes. Environmental and ecological issues. Now, exhaust gas regulation, CO2, and so on. I already explained the background. Therefore, I already explained this. So ecological issues. To overcome the greenhouse effect and other air pollution problems, Japanese government is taking a strategy to eliminate diesel the engine vehicles previously, okay? And to the contrary, German government is taking a strategy to increase the diesel engine vehicle. This is actually government attitude, okay? So the discussion, what are the logics behind the both Japanese and German strategies? Now, the United States government is, and this is for the US student, government is currently ignoring both. And what do you think the US auto manufacturers' strategies? What is the code of ethics from your professional society and your personal moral code on this issue? This is the discussion item in the United States. So basically, I already partially explained this, the reason, background. Can you answer to this number one? I explained already. Yes?
The German engineer states that diesel engine has better efficiency.
Yes, in the total energy efficiency, okay? Yes. And the Japanese, why?
Because they think that the diesel engines create more toxic pollution.
Yes. His engineering viewpoint is correct. But another important issue you are missing is a political viewpoint. Japan doesn't have a big oil mining. All are imported. So all oil companies need to purify as high as possible to get the larger, the profit from the oil. And this oil company's money is, distributed to the politicians. So politicians, if the oil company loses the powers, politicians cannot get the money, okay? Therefore, intentionally, the politicians are moving to eliminate the diesels, and higher octane gasoline is better because their profit is larger. That's a political viewpoint, okay? You mentioned the engineering viewpoint, okay? Second, US government doesn't care, actually. We are not moving anything. Do you know the reason? Any person. Yes.
Because US oil companies have lots of strong power.
Yes. Oil company is the strongest in the United States, So the previous vice president, like not the previous, so Bush period, the Cheney is oil company's strong boss, okay? Therefore, that is the reason why we invaded to the Iraq and so on, okay? Background is to get the oil from them. So actually, the United States has lots of oil, shale gas, and so on. So we have both importing partially and also creating the oil inside. So basically from creating, we have both. Therefore, basically we don't care, okay? And Trump is more extreme situations, okay? What is a code of ethics in your professional society? So of course, most of you are the Asian, and you are believing CO2 and so on. Therefore, just to summarize your idea, your ethics code. So creating your own solid ethics code is most important in the Penn State University. So I will collect the research report or this, the homework for writing your ethics code. I like this, or my ethics code allows until this or others. Your ethics code, as I told you, I'm not suggesting any particular ethics code. Depending on the religions, Muslim is totally different, and Buddhism is different, and Christian is different. However, minimum ethics code should be taught from Penn State universities, okay? Therefore, like plagiarism, we set the 70%, okay? Or hopefully less than 50% overlapping. That is mandatory. So in the future, in a couple of years, actually this course started only last year. I gave a first class last year. I gave multiple courses last year for each individual, spring or summer or fall. For graduating all students, they need to take this ethics course, okay? Any summary?
Because I have no religion and no.
Who is the engineer? Okay.
Me, I'm an engineer, so the top important thing is to be honest, and the second one is to be fairness.
Okay.
And the third code of
if you are hired by the automotive companies, how would you like to set your ethical code?
To be honest.
Yes, particularly these issues. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The difference between the.
Would you seek a diesel or would you seek an engine car?
Actually, from my personal view, I think I prefer the first one.
First one. Eliminate diesel engine vehicle.
Yeah, I prefer to pursue for example, the hybrid cars or any other cars, except for the.
But eliminating diesel, what is the major reason? I don't think so. We can change the trend. Okay?
But for my view, my own view, that we should to overcome such kind of toxic gas. Yeah, this is just my personal idea.
Okay. Yes, I'm not disgracing your ideas. But for me, I'm pushing all automotive companies. Hybrid car, yes, I accept. But the diesel hybrid car, much better than the gasoline hybrid car. Okay? Total energy consumption is much less. Japanese the politicians usually mentioned diesel include NOx or SOx, toxic gas. But how about the European car? Yes, before selling the diesel car, we need to completely trap NOx or SOx. So more than 25 years ago, the Peugeot already started trapping mechanisms. So there's no NOx or SOx from their European diesel car. Almost the same as the gasoline car. This is the technological way. Okay? Therefore, from my personal viewpoint, hybrid car, diesel, hybrid car. And I would like to eliminate all high-octane gasoline. That's useless, the electricity usage, okay?
Maybe 2 weeks ago, the company insists that by the 2020, and the company will, the car, the company produced is all are the electric car.
Mm-hmm. Yes, if we can make an all-electric car, we don't need any gasoline, okay?
A trend for all the world?
Yes, yes.
But Professor, this may be a digression, but 2 years ago, Volkswagen, several months ago, that is Daimler or BMW, made some kind of flawed data with fuel efficiency. So because of that, European country tried to transfer from diesel to electric car as much as possible.
Yes.
So diesel technology is regarded as some kind of symbol of the something wrong with politically. So I'm asking your response.
My response. No electric car in the United States because too large, okay? Europe and Japan, you can drive only 2 hours, it's fine. But from my state college to the other next cities, I need to drive more than 4 hours minimum, okay? Sometimes 8 hours drive. Electric car at this moment, 4 hours are maximum. So one guy, the Navy officer, actually tried to drive from Washington full charge and came into the state college. That is the dead end, almost zero of the electricity. Okay? Nissan? Yes.
But lots of Japanese or European car companies are now focusing on how to
increase
the miles.
So from this point, okay, United States is waiting. Actually, U.S. is, how can I say, they are not really aggressively working for the diesel or the gasolines. We are just waiting for others.
I think U.S. car companies are also joined this competition.
Yes, Stella is the electric car. Yes. But you may know the Stella's budget situation is stable at this moment, okay? And also, that depends on the politicians. That means Trump. Trump is not really supporting electric car. Therefore, you also need to consider the political engineering, political influence for each country, okay? So Europe and Japan, yes, you are moving to the electric car, it's fine. But practically at this moment, therefore, even the Leaf, Nissan Leaf, world famous electric car, but only in the New York area or others. But our cities, zero automotive, okay, for the electric. Yes.
Rather than building diesel vehicle, carbon dioxide generated electric car, so you recommend building electric vehicle, but it's not to.
If I discuss the engineering side, it's beyond this ethics problem, okay? So I would like to stop at this moment and move to the ethics problem, okay? Electric car or others are different. This is just a country's some original attitude, and discussion item is here. U.S. is not non-political, or we are not really deeply involved. So I would like to teach the students to consider the other countries' motions and reflect to the United States, ethics code setting. Okay. Toxic materials, barium titanate, lead PZT, so lead included. So we are recovering to the non-toxic lead-free materials. Okay. So Toyota took a lead initially, but interestingly, Toyota withdrawn this program. So Toyota decided not to research on the non-toxic materials anymore. Many Japanese companies took this kind of withdrawal. Okay, so they are waiting the other countries again the development, and the Japanese company may adopt it later. So depending on the economical situation at this moment in Japan, you are not really working for the eliminating toxic materials, even a Toyota. Okay, that's a definite. This division was crashed 2 years ago. Okay, so of course that depends on each company as well as the countries. So the research is changing because of the government change. Okay. Ethics problem. EU, Japanese government is planning to regulate the PB-contained materials such as PZT starting from 2020. Thus, the research on lead-free piezoelectric has been accelerated, generally accelerated. But in this year or last year, the situation is again changing. Therefore, this is just a general trend. Okay. So university professors, even including Keio University's materials professors, they are working lead-free materials. That's correct. But the company usually moves or withdraw rather quickly, and the university professors are chasing to this company's trend. Okay. So lead-free has been accelerated. However, United States government seems to be neglecting this strategy policy again. Okay. So I'm teaching a U.S. student basically how do we need to consider. What is the major reason of the U.S. Government attitude, and what is your personal moral code of ethics on this issue? This issue is the toxic materials. Okay. I think this is easy for the Japanese or Asian person. Can you answer? Number one, number two, doesn't matter. Anyhow, this is the discussion. What would you like to discuss? Or what's your mind?
U.S. government would like to neglect this strategy because they would like, if they accept this EU and Japanese government's idea, they would like to invest more money to the equipment or to the technologies. So they don't want to spend such kind of additional cost.
This number one. Of course, I try to encourage the U.S. engineers, even they need to consider these issues, even if the president doesn't really seriously consider it. Okay. Therefore, the current president, of course, CO2 regulation, Paris Agreement, he tried to withdraw. However, most of the Japanese, the U.S. industries, such as GE or the IBM, this company president disagree with this, and they still continue to reduce the CO2 generations. Okay. Therefore, this is the some gap between the federal president and the company president. Okay, so I'm agreeing, and I'm for to supporting a company president at this moment. Therefore, I'm showing this to encourage the students to again consider it. Okay. Any comments? Yeah.
U.S. car makers exporting to EU market just a few amount of cars, and the destruction of PV materials may contribute to increasing rise of price of car. So they have no U.S. car makers no merit of introducing PV destruction in their home country.
Okay. He's from Nissan, so real automotive industry comment. Good comment. Okay. Any other comment? Shall we move forward? So economical versus social. Mass production now. Okay. Mass production in the U.S. and Japan. I think most of the MBA person already learned the fixed cost and the slope is raw materials, another variable cost, okay? Fixed cost and variable cost. For our multi-layer actuators, of course, the setting equipment include lots of, the fixed cost, okay? And to the contrary, labor fees, United States labor fee as a function of production quantity, like lineup, and this is the Thailand. Okay, the wage is much lower, 1/10 lower compared to the United States. Therefore, this is rather. Therefore, total cost calculation. When we make the production in the United States, the small amount, of course, the lineup is better, but more than some certain range, we had better install the automatic, the manufacturing system. Okay. So a typical number is provided. The 2 million pieces or higher, yes, we had better move the 200 million pieces, actually up to the 2 million pieces. Using a Thai, the factories, line up 200 ladies without processing equipment. That is cheaper, okay? In the United States, if the total production exceed only 0.1 million pieces, we had better put the automatic, the equipment, okay? So this is the ethical problem, economical side. When Japanese currency yen was strengthened in 80s, a Japanese industry Murata closed a 220 employee factory in Japan and opened 3,200 employee factory in Thailand. Actually, wage is almost the same for 200 people, Japanese, and 3,000 Thai, employees, okay? The wage is almost the same. I was working for the Thai government technical consultant below the associate, the secretary or minister of the Thailand. Therefore, I really experienced. And Murata VP mentioned that they were not interested in transferring Murata's technology to Thailand employees. So no teaching, just a lineup and using labels. And because once transferred, they would start to manufacture the product for other competitive companies in the world. This is the VP's, the answer. Of course, I was representing at that time Thai government and visiting Murata factories and discussed. Of course, Thai employee or Thai government we'd like to receive some of the technologies and start up new small businesses using this technology. That's, of course, the government attitude. As long as we accept the Murata factories in the this is the Chiang Mai area, but this area, okay? But rejection came to transfer this. Therefore, discussion. Discuss the merits and the demerit of this offshore factory strategy. Already explained the sum of the merit here. And what do you think about the Murata VP's management policy from an ethical viewpoint? And provide your personal moral code of ethics and possible action items. Of course, the United States has a lot of factories in the outside offshore. Therefore, always we really feel this kind of situation, okay? Do we really need to stop transferring any technologies to the local people? Or how do you think? Any person? Raise your hand. If you would be a vice president or president of the subsidiary other countries, the factory. Yes?
I want to grow local people.
Local people's communication and transfer the technology.
I will not teach all technology, but I will gradually teach basic or application knowledge.
Okay, gradually. Okay. Okay. I'm not saying the details. As a VP, your attitude against the local employee.
But the patent strategy is really important because Japanese country is not.
Okay. Therefore, if you are the VP, you agree this vice president attitude. Is it correct? He declined to transfer the technologies to the local people.
I don't know what kind of technology.
In Murata, that is a multi-layer capacitor manufacturing. Therefore, this technology. Yes?
His comments sounds like looking down on the local people, but he should have mentioned something to encourage the local people, not saying that.
So, to respect the local people, he should not say directly like this. Okay. Yes?
Actually, I would like to ask you a question regarding this. What do you think with the recent technology advancement in regard to open source technology? For example, Elon Musk, when he gave the idea of Hyperloop, he just uploaded to the internet and let other people to develop this technology instead of keeping it by himself. How do you think with this condition?
Basically, I'm asking you, okay? I will make a comment later, okay? How do you think? So you are asking this question to me. Therefore, initially, you need to clarify your opinions first.
I think with the advancement of open source technology, the person who is using the invention of other people will be able to give credits to the inventor instead of stealing that technology. I think that's my viewpoint.
Okay. You have a comment?
GDP, Japan GDP degree. The other country, Thailand, up GDP.
Okay.
Continuing. Of course, return idea loyalty, but small continuity. because company is good, but government is not good.
This is ethics course, not the economical, comment. So you can understand the meaning, okay? So if I answer, this is my personal opinion again, okay? Actually, this VP, I reported exactly his attitude to the headquarters of Murata in Kyoto. This guy was expelled. Okay? It's not the Murata factory's all consensus. This VP would like to collect the profit from this Thai factories and promote back to the Japanese headquarters rather quickly. Okay? Therefore, he didn't really teach. That causes additional, work or additional payment or additional fees. Therefore, he skipped all and expanding a profit rate, and he tried to move back. But actually, as you clearly mentioned, this is ethical problem for disgracing the local people. Therefore, yes, I took my, the former student who was the really big guy in the Thai government, okay? As long as I took a PhD and returned back to Thailand, how many PhD in Thailand? Very small numbers. Therefore, he's a top guy. So as long as we chatted with the VP, he was really angry, okay? Therefore, I reported to the headquarters. So less than 3 months, he was expelled. Okay? So Murata headquarters is not considering like that. Just I would like to comment on it. And about the protecting the intellectual property, as he's mentioned. So my company or my idea, of course, we have lots of offshore, almost all factories are offshore in my company. So we are the headquarters for making the bullet for the armies very highly confidential. Therefore, usually I provided the different countries and the different factories only one parts, okay? Therefore, if technology, this local people would like to make a capacitor or so lowest grade, the just the simplest part, may be transferred and provide all and import this, finally, this product to Murata, okay? In that case, they don't really need to operate the companies there, but as long as we set up good relations, so this BP should be replaced by the local, Thai, reliable, the BP. In that case, still Murata logo may be continued, but all management is held by Thai, and the Thai, the stock may be expanding. So in that case, Thai government as well as the local people all happy, okay? So the discussion, merits and so on, okay? So another one, when I was staying in Thailand, rice and corn dramatically increased the price in 1990s. As I already mentioned, biofuel, okay? So 60% dramatic. So supposing that your rice is increasing here, 60% from tomorrow, how would you like to survive, okay? That happened in Thailand because the United States and Japan, okay, started the biomass to creating alcohol by using this. Therefore, they try to use sugar cane or the rice and so on. Rice is rather easy and high quality biomass. So in Japan, the rice price is so expensive. Therefore, they try to find the rice, cheaper rice. So Thailand is the cheapest rice, okay? And similarly, at the same time, United States also purchased lots of rice. So more than 1/3 of the product rice were purchased by the Japan and the US, okay? Therefore, the lack of rice creates a huge amount of increase of rice. So the low-incoming people cannot really process the rice anymore, okay? So rice is the main, the food in Thailand. Usually rice plus a Thai curry, just slightly, and taking all, okay? That's a typical way. Therefore, famine happened. This is serious, okay? So where is the problem in this incident? What is your personal moral code? And how can you solve? What is your action item based on the code of ethics from your professional society, okay? So basically, in the answer in the United States was rather simple. Almost all students mentioned, no problem in this incident. No problem. Because the US just bought the rice. Lack of rice is a Thai government responsibility. Okay? That's the majority of the United States student answer. Do you understand? This reflects the Americans' attitude. Any comments? Any questions or any? Yes.
You mentioned that it's only temporary famine.
Temporary, yes.
The government has stepped in or something regarding this issue.
Yes, after that, a couple of years later, the government worked on it. But in at least 2 years, many people passed away. That's correct. All other Thai government responsibility. So how about the government agility, okay? Is it so quickly working and suppress this rice and so on? Actually, total rice, lack of rice happened, okay? So if you are the prime minister or minister of the Thailand,
I would rather to impose some export to the United States.
Control the export-import, okay?
Rather quickly, because if I were the prime minister, I need to be able to see for future for my people, I guess.
So do you accept that this is only Thai government responsibility? As most of the U.S., also, I don't know, if you are the Japanese trading companies, employees, do you behave like this? That rice is cheap. So you can sell to the biomass companies in Japan.
As a company employee,
Yeah.
cheap rice.
Okay. So you do not have any, the problems. You don't feel any ethical, problems.
As a governor, we should take care of this issue.
No, basically this question, in this case, U.S. engineer, but also the same situation happened for the Japan. So as Japanese companies engineers, just answer to me. If you don't feel any ethical problems, it's fine, okay? I'm not insisting anything. Yes?
I think I'm aware with this statement. This is because the government should be adjust something, but they cannot like that. It's kind of just solve. I think farmers cartel or they have to cartel or they have to really make cartel so that's why they cannot I think a small farmer.
So just simply answer to me. If you are the Japanese engineers, you do not have any responsibility on this incident. Yes or no? Yes? Yes means responsibility or no? No responsibility? No responsibility. Okay. So how many no responsibility? How many you feel some conflicts? Again, interesting. Asian 50-50, okay? United States, almost except one, okay? They almost all no responsibility, okay? Yes?
Right? And they can choice, or I think they can choice. And if they all of the rice, sell for Japan or United States, they can get money.
That's correct? That's the American style answer, okay? Yes?
I think,
of course, real behavior as a company, you may need to obey this. But what I'm talking is the code of ethics. How do you feel? Okay?
responsibility for this.
You feel some responsibility?
Yeah, and because in the world, the population is increasing for the future. So in the world, we have to keep the food. So, and as an engineer, we don't use the food such a style.
Okay.
So in the as an engineer, we have to develop the new technology by not using the food. So as the biomass plant.
New technology without using rice?
For example, the recycling
Okay.
plastic or something the plants, some plants or
Okay. Anyhow, if you feel roughly half feel some, responsibility, yes, the next step will be like that, okay? And requesting proposal to the companies without using a rice, and actually purchasing a lot of rice from US and Japan are already well known. Therefore, we can anticipate how large problem happens in Thailand. Because I was, working for the Thai government for a couple of months during that period. Therefore, totally 3 years, I stayed in Thailand. Therefore, I felt actually this kind of situation created this incident. Yes, more than half year prior, I anticipated, but actually this happened, okay? But the government, usually the Thai government doesn't have enough money to purchasing remaining rice from the other countries. Thai is usually producing the rice and regularly providing to the US and Japan, okay, rather cheap rice. But this particular incident happened only 1 year or 2 year period. Large amount was purchased, okay. Of course, the Thai farmers are really lucky, okay? The Japanese, company, trading company pays a 10%, 20% higher amount and purchasing all. So without selling to the regular market, yeah, they will sell all, okay? That's the typical way. So how the government can really control? Actually, as long as I saw the government, it's really difficult, okay? Government doesn't have enough money to purchasing. So stopping trade is one possibility, but it's already agreed, therefore stopping exporting is totally difficult. Yes?
Why can't the government just raise the tax on the export and use the tax to control
the rice price?
How do you think? Mr. Trump would like to put a lot of tax to the Japanese import nowadays. What will happen? This is the country conflicts, strong conflict happens. Okay? At that period, all are moving to the tax-free. And global tax-free situations are moving. But once Thai government took a so strong export tax, Thai government is not that powerful in the world. Therefore, Thai government may be expelled from the worldwide in that case. So taxation is not so easy. This year, already set up agreement, we will put additional tax. Just consider it. This creates a serious problem for the commerce, the trading issues. Okay? So military versus civilian. Military versus civilian. The same technology was used for fish finder or sonars. You have learned roughly the technology yesterday. Okay? Any allergy for the military use of your technology? That's the questions. The one example is my metal tube motor, widely used and partially used in the Samsung, the mobile phone already. Okay, I already showed you. And another way is the medical catheter application. Okay, and I have shown. This is moving. So this is the blood clot removal. Okay. Anyhow, this technology was made. Similar multi-layer has been already used micro aerial vehicles. Okay. And the traffic disturbance is now the problem at this moment for the UUV. This is fine. So practically, I'm showing our company's product. Sonar versus fish finder. Initially, I'm suggesting to consider military usage or the commercial usage. And while the smallest model was invented in our companies, and unmanned aerial vehicle drone with a surveillance camera, this is rather popular. Therefore, this is, we call it the mosquito weapon. We have received the money from the military. Mosquito weapon is not actually the mosquito size, 1 cubic centimeter, this. But this is flying rather easily. So initially surveillance camera purpose. So basically carrying this mosquito in the Afghanistan area and spread out. And this mosquito comes from this air duct and moving in. Final issues is to kill, at that time, one president, Hussein, okay? Kill one person, so a point target killing. That is a mosquito weapon, okay? So biting, that's the end of some particular person. So finding, searching. So basically mosquito size is really important. Therefore, unmanned aerial vehicle for natural disaster volcano work is fine, and the military purpose is a mosquito weapon. We developed a 2006 on this materials, and this. Actually, this is animations. I hesitate to show you the real weapon, okay, for this case. So this is like a flying, and the ultrasonic motor is here, okay? So the ESCAL issues. Discussion. Identify ESCAL problem in the technologies which can be used both military and civilian application. How can we compromise, merge the dilemmas in these technologies? Any comments? So this is, again, I asked the Penn State student. Except one guy, one guy is some exception, okay? He came from Europe. So other, 98% student doesn't have any dilemma or conflict. Their technology can be used for the military, okay? That's the Americans' culture. We need to really, contribute to the militaries because military is ours, okay? If we lose the technological capability in the United States, we will be invaded. We are attacked. Supposing that the North Korea is now trying to hit the United States, okay? So initial, yes, this part is very important. How many persons, students, disagree your technology to be applied for the military? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many you would like to contribute your technology to the military applications? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Abstained? No raise? Somebody just neutral? Neutral? Okay. Neutral? Okay. So including a neutral, so again, how many are against to use your technology to the military? I'd like to check the percentage. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total number is how many? 36. And total 4, 5. So 36, 5. 1/7. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yes, I would like to check the Japanese. How about just the Japanese? How many are Japanese? Okay, about half are Japanese. Okay. Yeah. But even the Japanese, a younger generation doesn't have any particular allergy for the military application. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Yes, obstacle is my generation, okay? Our generation is still keeping top of the companies, so almost disappearing. Or even my generation's 10% already passed away, okay? 2 days back, I joined the high school alumni society. Yes, this guy. Among 40-some classmates, 4 are already passed away, all male, unfortunately. Well, female are alive, okay? That's the typical Japanese, okay? So anyhow, we may need to wait you are growing up so that we can collaborate much better, okay? So any comment on these issues? This is actually the mosquito weapon. So even some of the senior guys are against the military application. So I learned when I discussed Waseda University's social science professors, I hate to be used for any research for the military application, okay? In that case, what will be remaining to teach in the university, okay? In that case, I usually ask, are you using a www? Yes, this professor. Yes, it's really, and how can I say, the convenient to search anything, internet. Internet is one of the best hit of the military, the development. And also, this guy is using a smartphone, GPS, okay? GPS is the top, the Army's technologies. Now, after the 7 years later, you are all are using. So I explicitly mentioned this professor. You are using our name, United States, the development, Army's development by yourself. After that, he didn't say anything, okay? So military application is the first in the United States. After that, we usually have a 3-year allowance without using a commercialization. After that, we usually use everything. So Samsung or others, it's fine, okay? So they widely utilized. So military application is the first, usually. So our company developed, I think this is the first time. Okay. Let's see. This is a programmable airburst munition. This is the 25 millimeter, a little larger than this size. But basically, small bullet becomes already missile. We can program on this and chasing this. If we program to hit this person, okay, even if this person is moving, okay, chasing and hit. The percentage is 98% at this moment. Therefore, you have learned the Afghanistan or others, beautiful hit, okay? The miss-hit rate is really usually the less than 2%, okay? So this one includes a kind of small computers. Therefore, we need, after shooting, we need to charge up, or electricity is important to operate this bullet to the programmed route. For this purpose, initially after the 2003, after we started the Afghanistan invasion, okay, in that case, they started to put the bottom battery. But battery is gone less than 2 months in the very severe weather conditions in Afghanistan desert. Desert area, 45 degrees C, and night is cooling down, but actually the battery is gone rather easily. Therefore, in 2003, the Army Research Laboratory called us, Kenji, can you create the energy harvesting system? So we started to use the piezoelectric. If the bang and the shock create some force on this piezoelectric, as we have already done the cigarette lighter, electricity is created inside. Therefore, the electricity can be utilized for maneuvering this, this bullet. Just a short period, 3 minutes to 5 minutes. That means the 1 kilometer, maximum 1.5 kilometer range, okay? Therefore, and also, no next time usage. One time, burn, okay? But 100% correctly work. Okay? That's important, okay? Therefore, ATK, this yellow cap is the programmable airburst munition. So airburst munition, don't consider this bullet is hitting and exploding. This is programmed. Therefore, hitting doesn't create any explosions. So this is like a windows, okay? And this doesn't really collapse, making a small hole. And what is the explosive situation? I'm showing the top view. Here and here, explosion happen. Highest pressure is here and here, okay? Why this happened? After the 2002, the President Bush moved into the Afghanistan and collapsed lots of buildings. So rebuilding cost, so war cost, is so high. Therefore, President Bush made lots of deficit in the warfare, warfare cost. Okay. Therefore, 2003, they decided not to collapse the, the building. make a small hole through the windows and kill only the Talibans. So how many Talibans? We will set it, and the explosive situation will be changed, and everything are computer controlled. And chasing this and hitting, not the hitting, just passing through, and the explosion happened. That's this movie, okay? So 500 meters, nothing was there, but beautifully explode, okay? So ethics problem, military, civilian. US Navy weapons are shifted from weapon of mass destruction, such as nuclear bomb or chemical weapons, to the minimal invasive, destructive weapons. From the justice in battle, justice in war, or green weapons. This is my name. Green weapon, environment-friendly weapon, okay? You are laughing. Why you are laughing? Environmental-friendly weapon, okay? Therefore, I suggested the laser gun. Laser gun doesn't create any chemicals and so on. Explosion is still, killing other people. But the laser gun beam is largest is this size. Therefore, if you hit it, I will not hit you, but only this person, okay? So pinpoint target is a laser gun. And rail gun, I already mentioned, this is like a big aluminum stone, rather light metals, but this is moving about 8.5, the Mach, very high speed. Therefore, if the Japanese, the military, get the rail gun, this is the best way to hit out the, disappear this, the North Korea's missile attack, okay? Without just coming into the Japanese territories, we can easily hit. So we are pushing this to transfer to the Japanese ministries at this moment. So do you like a concept of a green weapon or a pinpoint target? How do your ethics allows justice in battle, justice in war, okay? So the person who raised the hand for the military usage, answer to this question. Green weapon. Do you like it? This is only the protections. We cannot really collapse many large areas. Only one point, okay? So missile comes, only this missile can be hit. So this is not really the offensive, the weapons, but perfect defense weapon, okay? And the size is quite small, actually. The final one, social religious issues. So a difference in product development concept. United States, this is my category. Best device for military with a top technology at inexpensive price. Rather expensive, actually. To the contrary, Japan, good device for civil consumers with improved technologies at a cheap price. Okay. Reliability is the best. Samsonite. This Samsung, Samsonite, okay? Samsonite, this TV advertisement is rather interesting. The Samsonite, the suitcase is put from the 10th floor and straight down, okay? Samsonite, the suitcase is still alive. So reliability. They are not considering anything inside the materials, okay? If you keep something in, all crashed. Samsonite suitcase is fine, okay? So this kind of very strong or reliable. This is like a military application, okay? To the contrary, like a newness, timing, Game Boy, this is old-fashioned, sorry. I'm using more than 10 years for this. Game Boy, Nintendo, this is the typical Japanese technologies. Cheap, And it's not the highest, the operational amplifier. The second grade, cheapest one is usually taken, okay? And quality control for the military use. Usually United States, quality control is not good, or check for military use, that's definite. To the contrary, the Japan, no check for the mass production. Therefore, the high quality, this part is also no good. And once Toshiba light bulb created, how many years ago? 15 years ago, they developed 24 hours lots for the light bulb. And the price, if they sell the same price for the typical 2,000-hour light bulb, the company goes bankrupt. Actually, profit rate is so small. Therefore, if the consumer will spend 20% longer period, yes, company will bankrupt, okay? Therefore, they need to put the 20% higher price tag. Actually, I enjoyed the longer lifetime and the shorter lifetime in Akihabara area and comparing this, okay? Exactly 20% higher price tag was put. So the Japan, usually they like Six Sigma management. That means 2.4 defects per 1 million products. To the contrary, United States is keeping still 3 to 4, the Sigma, okay? Quality levels. So ethics are problems. Engineers, workers, production ethics are total quality control. Japanese Toyota prefers Six Sigma, while the American factories like GE, GM are still keeping a 3 to 4 Sigma. General Motors, okay, GM. So do you like the concept of Six Sigma? Why? Ethical viewpoint. How can you achieve the Six Sigma in your manufacturing lines? Any comments?
Six Sigma is still there in the United States as a manufacturing or quality.
Six Sigma is not popular in the United States.
Used to be very popular around the 1990s when the Motorola and GE adopted.
The original Six Sigma concept was developed in the United States, but mostly used in Japanese companies. Even right now, GMs are, actually I used to drive a GM car, but always some, the problem happened. So I switched to the, in my case, the Honda. Honda doesn't have any problem. That dramatically reflects the Six Sigma, okay?
Japanese companies no longer stick to the Six Sigma concept.
Yes, current highest Six Sigma, like Black Belt or others, are Samsung, Korea. Korea, all employees, including engineers, need to take a Six Sigma exam. Yeah. Yes, that is not that this year, but as long as my former graduate mentioned 2 years ago, okay, that he is a Black Belt Six Sigma guy, okay? So, to become a manager, Six Sigma exam must be taken, okay? So Kaizen or re-engineering, typically Kaizen is a Japanese type, bottom up. Re-engineering a top down. This is related with the permanent like employment systems. So actually turnover in the United States is really quick. Do you know one employees in the United States work in the one company averagely?
They don't change their job, you mean?
Yes, so how many years, if I hire the new employees, how many years can I expect this person will work with us? Yes? 3 years?
One or two.
1 year?
Because I it's about, yeah.
How about you?
4 or 5 years.
Averagely 5 years
In USA?
in the United States. Or actually, no employees will stay more than 5 years in one company. Except I'm an owner of the companies. In that case, of course, I step down. I'm just the owner. But actually, except like this situations, like large companies, usually typical turnover is 4 to 5 years. So nobody can expect that this guy, okay, I can train by using 1 year and educate. Yes, actually in my company, I initially hired the new guys. Nobody knows the piezoelectrics. I spent half year for teaching, educating, and inviting to my class in the Penn State. He learned completely. Unfortunately, after 1 year, he moved to the competitive company. Because he mentioned, I took this course, okay? I'm an expert of this from Professor Kenji. Therefore, it's time to leave bye-bye to the company, to the double the salary, okay? That's a typical way in the United States. So I abandoned to educate any employees in the company, okay? University, the same, different situation. University, you students are our product, okay? University has a product, research, and student. So a student must be educated. And fortunately, most of my students work or through my introduction. So you had better work this company and this company. I usually arrange all for my students. Therefore, after that, they will work for each individual. However, turnover happens, okay? Therefore, okay, if you already, they're boring in this company, so I can shuffle to this company. To the contrary, this guy will return back to this, okay? So my graduate students are really shuffling continuously and promoting continuously, okay? So all knows each other, yes?
Could you please describe the employment contract in USA, in United States?
Employment contract, if you're interested, I have an employment contract with me. So it's a long. So
the employee stay in
employment contract is usually 1 year contract. Even the universities are longest 3 year contract. Okay? University, if you promote to the full professors or others, yes, sometimes 5 year contract. And now I'm almost the last professor who has a so-called tenure, permanent professor position. After that, 10 years later, already no more permanent professors. Okay, no tenure. Tenure track, still we are using this. But the tenure means 10-year longest contract. All are contract. So the companies are usually provide a 1 year contract. If this guy is really working better, next year's offer is provided. Okay? Even the professors at Penn State, 30% of the professors are usually called research professors. They are 1 year contract. Continuously 30 years, 1 year contract extension. Do you understand? Okay? Yeah.
5 years.
Yes. 3 or 5 years. This contract happens only the football player or sports players, okay? Soccer player or others, usually 3 year contract, okay? Sometimes 1 year break, okay?
Of this kind of, for example, the period of the contract, the longer one is better or?
Actually, me personally, I like a 1 year contract. I can easily leave to get the next job. Otherwise, if I sign the 5-year contract, even another better offer comes, I cannot take it.
If you want to leave.
If the payment itself really solve it, it's a lucky situation. The new company will pay this amount. But if the lawsuit happened, okay, the more serious. Just the money doesn't matter. New company, if they need my capabilities, they will compensate this amount of money, okay?
For example, if you stay in company for a long time, maybe you can promote
No.
very...
Promotion, to get the promotion, you need to change the company. So if you'd like to be, even the universities, okay, presidents are not elected from the bottom, okay? Even a department head is taken from the Ohio State or other universities, okay? Professor is just a professor. Just a promotion is assistant, associate, and a professor. That's it. Other management positions, we usually hire from the others. So if I need to become a president of the universities, I need to apply for the different university. Always change. Company, therefore, I told you, the 5 years, yes, after that, the promotion associated. Usually, regular researchers become an assistant manager, and so on. You had better change the job. Otherwise, the salary will be fixed, like 1 year, okay? Any question?
I was financial controller for the Americas region, and decreasing the percentage of turnover rate was always a big issue, because no matter how much we invested on training, or no matter how much we invest for the communication of the employees, lots of people, employees, are going away from the company. So it's quite a loss.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's actually true, okay? He already experienced the American situation. Therefore, a manager, to get the higher salary and managers, yes, it's time to change your position. Initial 1 year, usually training, so you are not thinking to move out quickly, okay? But if I provide teaching or education, as he mentioned, okay, 1 year later, he will take a better job, okay? So education doesn't mean anything in the United States company. So no education in the companies. Education should be the professional professors, okay? So they need to pay for tuition fee. Otherwise, I will not teach, okay? That's definite. That's the universities and the companies' executive, totally different attitude of mine. Yes?
I think it's not only to get a higher salary, but also want to more like experience the different kind of environment for me.
Yeah.
To meet different kind of people.
Okay? Yes. So you don't care the salary?
I care, but if it's same,
Usually 5 years later, you are considering some promotions. Promotion usually associated with the higher salary. So higher salary means promotion, okay?
I don't care that much. I just want to make my life more viable.
I see, okay.
Yeah.
I would like to hire you with the lowest price. Usually, once 1 year passed, the employee start the negotiation about the salary increase, okay? 10%, 20%. Even myself, when I was at like Penn State, initially I was hired like a postdoc, okay? So 1 year later, the colleague, friends in the same room suggested me, Kenji, you wrote 20 papers, therefore you had better ask double the income. Okay? So therefore I requested increasing salaries. According to this advice, I would like to get the double the salary. So my boss, director, was really, if I increase your salary doubled, your income is higher than me. So original, my salary was quite high, okay? Therefore, the director didn't really consider this, okay? However, yes, your contribution is really appreciated. Therefore, I can increase your salary 30%, not more than 30%. 50% means other professor's salary, okay? Doubled is more than my salary. So yes?
So if such a situation in Japan, almost some Japanese worker don't choose move to another company. So I think they would feel the contribution
to the company. Yeah.
So it's very strong.
Good point. Yes. I'm showing here the Japanese evaluations process. Japanese usually method for deciding a salary is integration. Integration means a long period. So if you accumulate long period, yes, you will get a higher salary. Okay? That means like age. To the contrary, U.S. method is just a derivative. Are you familiar with the integration and the derivative? Okay. If you are not familiar, you need to take it. dy dx, that's the derivative, and the integration is this shape. And anyhow, the U.S. method is just 1 year. Last year, how much did you get the money for this company? That's it. Okay. Therefore, manager sometimes are age 28, 29. That's a general manager. And the worker is sometimes 40 years and so on. Okay? When I joined to the Penn State, when my age is middle 40s, yes, some of the students are already 50s. So I'm hiring the student much elder age. Okay? So age doesn't matter. Of course, Asian people usually considered very young. So even I was 40 years old. My age seems to be 28 or 30 years old from an American's viewpoint. You are young, okay? Therefore, I decided to take beers and so on, and dyed for the white, okay? Yeah, actually. Otherwise, appearance creates some disgrace, even in the United States. But anyhow, age doesn't matter, okay? Age doesn't matter. And once you hired, yes, as long as you will get the higher salary, you need to work double higher than the others. That's definite. No training period, okay? And the final part is ethics. Ethics are the case 10. Confidentiality, discussion consider ethical and legal issues on confidentiality. This is rather popular for the plagiarism and so on, so I will skip some of that. Information technology dilemma, I will skip this whistleblower. Yes, I usually introduce the student for the Obokata stap cell incident. How many knows the Obokata's incident? Rather large number, okay? The Haruko Obokata is a stem cell biologist, was a research unit leader, RIKEN. And the STAP stimulus triggered acquisition of something, okay, in 2014. Stage 1, he was the allegation of the irregularity on the image of her papers. So this part is a little unnatural. So therefore, he might have made a fake data. Therefore, he was accused like a scientific fraud. That was really large, and also this discovery was like a Nobel Prize level, very high, the research data. But this forgery, actually, most of my paper is making a forgery. That means I don't think a forgery, but actually you can find some of the crack of my, the pictures. Actually, I enhanced particularly only this part. Otherwise, visible, typical black and white papers doesn't really reflect any crack. If I see from the microscope, yes, I can easily see the contrast. But creating a real pictures takes a really long effort. And I made this and this all emphasized. So if the emphasizing or slightly modifying color change or others by using a computer software, if this is not allowed, actually it's really difficult to persuade the people. Therefore, I usually create intentionally different color or others. So I'm not thinking this is a fake, okay? So this is my coverage of obokata. But the phase 2, stop cell were created with a method by this repeatability was actually made by German and US. So her data was not the fake, already repeated by 2 independent researchers. And also, later, the police accusation started. Teruhiko Wakayama, co-author of this book, of this paper, was made some problem, okay? He intentionally mixed a stop cell, ES cell, for the first news release, and the investigator couldn't really find the real, the research. He stole also Obokata's lab note and hid them, and as if she did not make full experiment, intentionally hidden, okay? And he sent mails to all co-authors and the journalism saying that Obokata fabricated the experimental result. Fraud was made. Therefore, this big problem happened, and Obokata's the university's the degree, Waseda University, I think, he was the cancer. Actually, all are created by the Wakayama. Therefore, this case was now changed from a data fabrication or ethical problem to the legal, like defamation and slander criminal case, okay? So the basically possible problem in the sharing data. You sometimes make a large group and sharing a data. Actually, this is dangerous. If your colleague thinks something wrong for myself, yes, they may create some of the different. So this is example of the sharing data with the co-authors. So I choose the co-authors and reliable persons. Don't believe the other co-authors. That's my suggestion for the Penn State University students, okay? And the business ethics. This is interesting. CEO salary, typical, the average of the large companies, the CEO salary is $15 million per year. To the contrary, a large company in Japan is only 350 and 500, just $500,000. This is the typical, the salary levels. Actually, this is almost the same as mine, okay? So in the United States, even my company's just a 40 years CEO is taking $1 million income, okay? So the CEO is quite high in Japan. Average worker, lower level, is only 30K. Japan, to the contrary, rather high, okay? And the lowest worker pay is also here, okay? The US, the lower income person is really poor, okay? So this CEO salary, if you calculate the 23 years initially, start working, and the 53 years CEO. So basically, if you take a 8% annual increase of the salaries, this corresponds to this, okay? So this doesn't calculate any capability of this CEO guys, just age, okay? You know, this type of calculations rather popular. This is like an interest rate, okay? Age itself. Therefore, I changed 4 universities so far, and even I'm receiving a Japanese pension and so on, but the minimum period. So even the Tokyo Tech or Sophia University, only 8 years or 10 years period. Therefore, almost nothing accumulations, okay? Therefore, the income is quite low. So longer year is much better in Japan. That helps, okay? So Buddhism principle equal benefit to all. Therefore, basically the appraisal criterion is different, and they are not really evaluating each individual person's capability. The same age, we can, in the United States, 10 times different salary comes. Even the same professors at Penn State universities, my salary and the same age professor's salary, sometimes 1/5 lower, only 20% of my salary, okay? So capability is really highly evaluated in the United States. So if age doesn't matter, even a 20 years old guys, you can receive a $1 million annual income rather easily in the small business, okay? So business ethics. This is when 90s Japanese company recession happened. So between the US and Japan, the United States usually selling factories and firing workers and increase the COE salary, okay? And after closing these factories, the CEO is getting lots of salaries and enjoying in Hawaii. That's a typical CEO. To the contrary, Japan, okay, cutting their manager's salary by 10%. This happened in NEC Corporation, actually. And the VP by 20% and the CEO 30% cut salary. So they are sacrificing their salaries and keeping the workers' salary, okay? No layoff. Socialism or Buddhism, basic ideas, okay? So discussion, what is the CEO responsibility as ethical viewpoint? You can, this is homework because no time remains. So ethics, my comment, final. The impact piezoelectric actually artificial insemination. So a programmable air-burst munition. We developed a lot of these issues. So this includes all ethical problem with me. And in addition to the practical performance, consider moral and ethical concerns. And finally, wisdom of the designers are important. So the final word is just there is no unique one solution in ethical and moral problems. All engineer needs to set up your own ethical code. Okay, so you should not change so much dramatically. So if you consider this is against my ethics, you need to complain about the professors and also the managers. That's important. So debating is missing in Japan. That's a serious problem to become world, the global engineers working in the United States and so on. So crisis management, miracle of Kamaishi, okay? You remember this, the big earthquake and the tsunami came. Only the elementary school kid escaped, almost perfect, 98% escaped. But lots of adults already died because the training was missing. So this afternoon, I will start individual survival training, anti-terrorism, and so on. and similar quiz will be made. Okay? Any questions? Yes?
What do you think about the relationship between
Ethics and compliance. That's again your code of ethics setting. Okay?
Compliance in Japan, Japanese business, same situation to use compliance and ethics.
Mm-hmm.
So many Japanese business persons don't
So if you have got some order from the top, you need to obey to work on it. If you set the strong ethical code, if you don't like to work on it, you can decline this any work. And of course, the company may consider later to fire you or some position change and so on. In that case, it's time to move out from the company. That's my answer, okay? So I don't want to work. Of course, I was or I am the CEO of the companies. So I decline everything which the lower level, younger generation would like to work. Yes, the company relationship will be gradually changing. Therefore, I sometimes accept inevitably for this money. And as long as the lower level or each engineer will propose to me to work something, yes, I sometimes accept. But if this is totally against my code of ethics, that's the end. You are fired. Okay? So the same situation, the lower or higher, the higher level have the legal right to fire you, but the lower level have also legal right to quit the job, okay? So only, you may know, 3 months allowance in the United States. We cannot keep completely this. So the 1-year contract, almost all guys accept. They are not interested to take a longer, as you mentioned, because they are considering to move out. So 1 year already contract, therefore they need to stay there. So usually the 3 months prior, if the guy are considering to move out, they will report us. So 90 days allowance, therefore final closing, and he will depart immediately after the contract terminated. Okay? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. And this is the end of the morning session. And please be back around 15 minutes before 2 o'clock. Okay? So lunchtime.
暑いですね、この部屋。じっとりと汗が出てくる。
調整ができますので。
すみません。これ私の
はい
のき塗りなんですけれども、
はい。
もしお読みいただけたらと思います。
わかりました。
それとちっちゃなメモの中にいちごさんに。
あ、そう。